Keir Starmer, Anthony Albanese, and Mark Carney have decided to embarrass the UK, Australia, my country, and Canada by choosing to recognize a Palestinian state. How embarrassing. They are choosing to reward a known terrorist organization before the conflict in Gaza has even finished. They are rewarding what happened on October 7th by saying there can only be a two-state solution. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to reward Hamas, even though Hamas is still in power at the moment. See, the thing is, I don't mind having a two-state solution. I don't mind having the Palestinian people living peacefully with the Israelis. I hope and I pray that actually happens, but the likelihood of that actually happening is probably very insignificant, considering that Hamas is still in a position of control and still the vast majority of the Palestinian people support Hamas. Now, if you've got most of the Palestinian people that are supporting a known terrorist organization that carried out one of the worst atrocities since the Holocaust, then how do you think a two-state solution is really going to turn out? Not very good. See, what these supposed leaders leading all of Australia, the UK, and Canada, see, the thing is, they seem to think that because they are leading these countries, that gives them the right to make a massive decision like the one they made. It doesn't. The vast amount of Australians overwhelmingly do not want Australia to recognize a Palestinian state before the war in Gaza is over. After, maybe we can consider, but this is way too premature. Anthony Albanese knows this, but you know what? He seemed to think, same with Keir Starmer and same with Mark Carney, they all seem to think that, well, this is going to make Hamas want to demilitarize, want to get the things, unfolding and moving forward. No, that's not going to happen. What are you kidding? Like these people are a total and utter embarrassment. I knew that Australia would do something big, just didn't think that it would be this. Now, the good news is, if there's any good news to take from this, the UK, Australia, and Canada, and even France is going to be in the mix, and I think several other countries as well. This doesn't mean anything. It has no legal standing whatsoever. Like, they can't really do anything. So America and Israel have, of course, come out and condemned these countries because, well, at least America's got its head screwed on straight and still supports Israel doing what it's doing in Gaza at the moment. And I know people will go, oh, what about the genocide going on in Gaza at the moment and all that sort of other nonsense that is happening. Look, war is horrible. War is terrible. I don't want it to continue either. I want the Palestinian people, the ones that actually really want peace, I want them to live in peace and harmony and prosperity. And I want the kids to grow up and live a prosperous and fruitful and have a fruitful life, right? The likelihood of that happening when Hamas is in power is quite that. Now, Hamas is choosing to continue to fight. They're choosing not to give back the hostages. And as a result, we have these dingbat of a leader, dingbat of a prime minister, and also the UK, Canada, many others. They're all deciding to prematurely come out and say, you know what, guys, we're going to recognize a Palestinian state well before Hamas has chosen to demilitarize itself, well before Hamas has been defeated, etc., etc. So do you really think this is a good move? No, it's not. Winston Marshall has gone, Starmer has humiliated Britain. In a war between Israel and Hamas, started by Hamas, chosen to be waged in Gaza by Hamas, with babies and children used as human shields by Hamas, Starmer has rewarded Hamas. So has Albanese. And with rewards like this, why should we expect Hamas to return the hostages and end the war? Exactly. These guys are celebrating. Hamas is celebrating at the moment. They're like, you're giving us exactly what we want. Thank you. But Starmer, Albanese, Carney, the whole lot of them are actually supporting terror. I don't think they're real. Well, I do think they realize that, but they think that they're doing the right thing. They're sick and tired of all of the protests, etc., etc. But you give the pro-Palestinian mob what they want, you give Hamas what they want, they're going to ask for more. Mark my words. This is not going to stop. You're feeding into their hand. You're giving them exactly what they want, and they're going to keep asking for more, and they're going to claim to be the victim. There is no rewarding victimhood or terror. Never. They just, you can't do that. It doesn't work out the way you think it's going to work out. These people are, I don't think they're naive. I just think they're stupid. Stupid enough to believe that a known terrorist organization is going to give back the hostages and do the right thing. It's kind of like an evil person or a criminal is going to give up his machete in a machete bin because the government asked him to. No. It's ridiculous. To our friends in Israel, I can only say that Starmer is deeply unpopular in the UK. So is Albanese in Australia. His behavior is a cowardly, myopic attempt to placate the far left and Islamic vote. He will be defeated along with his sick ideology the next election, whenever that is. Can't come quick enough, if you ask me. Now, Albanese and Penny Wong have gone effective today, Sunday, the 21st September. The Commonwealth of Australia formally recognises the independent and sovereign state of Palestine. Right. In doing so, Australia recognises the legitimate correction, not Australia, you. You do, along with Penny Wong and all the other dingbats that are in your cabinet. I don't support this. You're not my prime minister. I didn't vote for you. So therefore, why didn't Australians get to vote on this? This seems like a pretty big decision, if you ask me. You know why? I thought this was a democracy. I thought we're supposed to vote on these major life-altering decisions, right? No, Albanese is going to do it for us. And he's just going to not care. There you go. I'm going to make decisions on behalf of all Australians. No, you don't. In doing so, Australia, or ALBO, recognises the legitimate and long-held aspirations of the people of the Palestine to a state of their own. Australia's recognition of Palestine today, alongside Canada and the United Kingdom, is part of a coordinated international effort to build new momentum for a two-state solution, starting with a ceasefire in Gaza and the release of the hostages taken in the atrocities of October 7th. So by you doing this, Albo, what if Hamas, which they won't, don't give back the hostages? Then what? What if they don't agree to a ceasefire? Then what? You've just preemptively gone, we recognize a Palestinian state. Congratulations. Here you go. And we're still going to recognize it. Is that what you're going to do? Or are you going to demand that Hamas releases the hostages and give up? Or are you just going to demand that of Israel and hope that Hamas decides to do the right thing? Because you've gone, the sovereign state of Australia recognizes Palestine as a state now. You're nuts. And he goes on, talks about stupid things, which we won't get into. If you want to go check it out, you're more than welcome to do that. But I'm not going to read out the whole damn thing. It's a bunch of fluff and nonsense. Keir Starmer is a disgrace. Albo is a disgrace. They're all a bloody disgrace, if you ask me. It's a very sad day for Australia. Here's someone with actual brains and common sense. Senator Namajimba Price. Australia has a respectable record of achievement in foreign policy, but today marks one of the lowest lows. The Albanese government's decision to recognise a Palestinian state is ill-timed, impulsive, irrational, immoral, and ideologically driven. Exactly. It's an endorsement of Hamas's use of terrorism to achieve political ends. It's civilization, cowardice, and capitalization of barbarism. After all, Hamas has said it would repeat October 7th many times over until the Jews of Israel are driven into the sea and the Jewish state is exterminated. See, like I said, they're not going to stop. They're going to continue doing all of the stuff they did on October 7th if they are given a chance to. Mark my words. It is deeply sensitive too, with Hamas still holding hostages. Until Hamas is defeated, a two-state solution isn't even conceivable, and there can be no peaceful future for the people of Gaza. If the Albanese government truly believes in a better life for Palestinians and a two-state solution, then it should lend its full support to Israel's military response to rid the world of a death cult. Is the ugly truth. All too often, the Albanese government uses foreign policy to grandstand to a domestic political audience. Yeah, hello? Just like the voice referendum, recognition of a Palestinian state is driven by sentimentality and symbolism. Look at me, virtue signaling dingbats. No, not substance and moral standing, because we all know that he's got none. Indeed, the same moral cowardice and moral ambiguity has defined the government's supine response to the anti-Semitism afflicting our nation. Yeah, so we've got lots of anti-Semitism, but guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We're not going to care too much about that. We're going to make Islamophobia, outlaw that, and we're going to jail people that criticize Islam. How about that, right? We wouldn't have the intensity of anti-Semitism in our country today if the Prime Minister had responded with strength to the sordid scenes on the steps of the Sydney Opera House on the 9th of October. Weakness is proactive and provocative. In the UN today, the Albanese government has not only showed its weakness, it's also showed that its foreign policy is driven by virtue signaling instead of values. Yeah, indeed. Albo goes, recognition is a step forward for peace, security, and prosperity. How in the hell are you going to do that, mate? So you really think Hamas is going to go, all right, we give up. Here are the hostages. Thank you, Albanese. Thank you, Starmer. Thank you, Carney, for giving us Palestinian statehood. We're done now. That's all we wanted from the very beginning. See you later. We'll go live in peace now because you said so. It's a day of peace. Good grief, these people are so stupid. Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care of your blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.